going to a concert, you're not going to even allowed to carry something like this into a concert, because they don't want you to record it. But you sneak in a little cell phone because they can't keep you from carrying a cell phone in, and you start recording that. And then first you call up all your friends and say, "Hey, check it out! I'm in the front row of YouTube." And then you say, "Check it out on Quick," and then you hit a button and you're broadcasting or streaming live on Quick. So lets me do media that other methodologies don't let you do. That was why I started it. Now, what's really cool is you start a quick video and start to show up, and the audience interacts with you, and that's an experience you don't have in camcorder like what you're using.
Yeah.
And it's the audience. That's when you want to have an audience, is when your life is interesting, not when you're sitting email in the middle of the night. So
how have you incorporated Quick.com?
Well, my Fast Company TV right now is only 2 shows. There'll be more shows coming soon. But there's a professional Scobleizer show, which is done on really expensive cameras, and that's really high. Fast Company Live, which is done with Quick and done with a Nokia N95 cell phone. So if there's a show that's really good, like today we did Astor Picks, we'll put the best ones up on Fast Company Live, and then we're going to put some sort of calendar there when I know that I'm going to shoot something. Like I know tomorrow afternoon, which you'll probably won't get this video up in time, but I know that at 4 o'clock I'm going to be shooting a Microsoft executive talking about a new product announcement. So I know at that time I can Twitter and I can tell people, hey, show up here and you'll see something live. And then later that night, I'll grab the embed code and put it up on Fast Company Live. So, and Fast Company Live also is to get more people with Nokia phones around the world who are going to contribute to it. So we'll have different shows on Fast Company Live, not just my show. So, video world is an interesting one. I mean, if you're somebody who's really pushing around the video and understands online video, you know that there's lots of services. There's, Vidler and Vimeo and Rever and on and on. .sub. I mean, there's like a list of 50 of them. If you do some Google searches, you'll find it's not just YouTube, right? But to the normal person out there who wants to watch an online video, pretty much all they know is YouTube.
Yeah.
And so YouTube has a huge audience on it, even though the quality is not quite as bad, or maybe the feature set is not as good as like Quick. I can't do a live cell phone video on YouTube, right? But so I know the audience is on YouTube, so I'm going to shoot on Quick, and then I'm going to put my videos up on YouTube to get the audience and try to get the audience to come back to my Quick site or my Fast Company Live site to interact with me live, because that'll take some education to normal people who don't understand quite what I'm doing with the cell phone. So.
You have thousands of followers on Twitter, and every single time you start recording a quick video or start streaming, it sends a tweet. And so how?
Well, not every time. I turn that feature off, actually.
Oh, so okay, you press 55.
So actually, I hit 55 on my cell phone, and then it sends the Twitter.
Yeah.
I had it set up to automatically tweet every time it started the video, but it really pissed off a lot of people on Twitter, and they started saying I was spamming them. So I changed my behavior there, and it works better that way. That way, I only tweet Twitter from the phone if I know I'm really shooting something interesting that a lot of people would, like Annie Leibovitz. I have a feeling a lot of people would find that interesting, right? Me talking or typing on my computer or playing around, probably not. So I try to choose the moments when I set Twitter, and I also try to set some expectations before I start it. Like, hey, tomorrow I'm gonna be filming, Annie Leibovitz or Bill Gates or whoever, and show up there around 5 o'clock, and then I'll Twitter you when I start the interview, so you know that it's going. Seismic is a rough one because I need a code for Seismic as well. I turned that one off because Seismic's community really has an expectation that you're going to be very conversational with the video. In other words, you're going to be talking into a camera live, and then you're going to watch other people who respond to you, and then you're going to talk back, and have this conversational aspect to it. But because I'm always shooting interesting people out in the field,
you can't reply.
I can't reply. First of all, I can't see it. So
exactly.
As soon as I can see the Seismic videos and watch the replies on my phone, then I think I'll start using it. But right now, it's too one way to really fit in a Seismic. Mogulus, though, is interesting because I'm going to start doing a live channel, and it'll be interesting to have my live videos. You have it able so that you can watch the Mogulus live channel and be warned right there that something new is happening, and be able to put many cell phone users into one live channel with a director, because that'll be interesting. If I have 5 people going to South by Southwest, now I can have 5 people who are covering that event from different perspectives, and they can call me up and say, hey, I'm about to get an interview with Mark Zuckerberg, who runs Facebook. Can you put me on live when you see my video come up? And then I'll go, okay, I'll put you in next. So start your interview in 1 minute, and I can drag you into the live channel, and everybody who's watching that live channel can then see you, and we can almost build like a TV station, all based on little cell phones, and that's going to be very exciting. Well,
what other integration do you want to see?
That's enough for right now. YouTube is the big one. I'm hoping to see some better YouTube integration. There's a lot of different players that are really interesting, and that's the problem. Is every video company has a different feature that's really cool. Like Vidler has the ability to comment in the timeline and put little comments. That's really cool. When I put a video up there, I got a lot of little comments along the timeline, and it made linking into them really cool, and people had a lot of fun with that. .sub is another one that does captioning and multilingual captioning. So if you want somebody in Japan to watch your videos, they don't speak English there, so somebody would translate your English speech to little Japanese text strings underneath the video, like live captioning, right?
What's the website for that?
.sub.com. And that's really great, but it doesn't do the Vidler thing, and it's like, why doesn't somebody come out with .sub and Vidler style comments together so that people can interact, right? And then what's another one? I was at AstroPix today, which does it automatically senses my face and puts a link on it, and so that's a new advertising type that would be really killer. But again, AstroPix doesn't do .sub, and it doesn't do Vidler, and it doesn't do cell phone videos. So it's like, you got to pick one or the other, but you can't use them all together. And hopefully this industry at some point goes, this is really lame, and we need to figure out how to come out with the ultimate video player that takes this feature and this feature and this feature and this feature and mixes them together, and then shares the revenue between everybody, because obviously it's all about money, right? Everybody wants to have a feature that causes you to go there and therefore watch their advertising and make their money that way. And until we figure that out as an industry, that's going to be a tough one, because everybody will have a different feature,